Stop giving your power away to women. Now, whether it's at the beginning of an interaction or a girl that you already started dating, or this could even happen in a long-term relationship. I've gotten lost in each one of these different instances at one period or another in my own journey. And I want to explain to you guys how to not give away your power. And I'm not just talking about the power dynamic that you create between you and the girl. I'm talking about giving away your masculine energy, that essence of a man that you are creating on a daily basis as you progress throughout your self-development journey. Okay, because once you lose your power, you give your power away to the woman, not only consequently do you end up losing attraction, like her perception of you, you will lose attraction, the interaction or the dating will fizzle out, but also you lose your own masculine energy. You ever got lost in a relationship and then at the end of it, you're like a shell of who you once were? You gave away all of your power in that sense. So I want to show you guys how to not give your power away, but also how to not just be like closed off to women, because I think there's a lot of red pill content out there that pushes you so far in the opposite direction. Yeah, you don't give away your power, but also you're pretty much closed off to actually like connecting with women. And so there's a balance and subtleties that I want to explain to you guys. So the first thing is that the way you give away your power off the initial interaction is that you're already completely sold and chasing the girl and making it a really big deal before you even started dating her. Okay? And I understand this because if you're not that experienced with women, or you're not confident going out and interacting with girls or going on dates, if you haven't gone through that process yet, obviously it's going to be a big deal. Obviously, if this is the most attractive girl you've ever talked to, it's going to be a big deal. And that's part of the reason that I really regularly preach on my channel that you need to go out and push your comfort zone and get experience going up, talking to women, going on dates with women. You don't necessarily need to have a ridiculously high body count or anything like that. I'm not saying that you need to go do those things. If you find yourself drawn to explore those things, you can. But I think what's really important is just building up the experience and the confidence. It's situational confidence, interacting with girls, going on dates, connecting with women that you find extremely attractive. Because if you've never done that, when it's time and that girl catches your eye and you're really hesitant, or you try to go up to her, even if you're new to this, it's gonna be a really big deal. And almost by default, you're gonna do whatever you can to please her. You're gonna be seeking rapport. You're gonna be trying to create a connection and commonalities off of the initial approach. Your tonality, the way that you're talking to the girl, it doesn't come off very confident, and you're not hitting the right balance on the front end of the interaction to really get the girl to start chasing and pursuing and attract her to you. Okay, so the way that you lose the power on the front end is that the moment that the attractive girl starts to show you some level of interest, you start getting extremely either nervous or overly excited, and you give away your power in that sense. Now, that alone won't necessarily ruin your whole self-development journey. I think the further we go into this video, the more detrimental the consequences will be, as you'll see. But on the front end, you don't even get into the dating or the courtship phases with these women because you make it a really big deal. And the only way to actually get over all of that is to get out there and get more experience and actually lose women. Okay, you're not gonna never lose your power. You're not gonna never get rejected. In fact, I think the guys that are the most successful have gone through those experiences so many times. It's like a fighter who's been in the ring so much and he got hit so much that he's now aware of every single move and he understands the counter moves. Okay? That's what you essentially need to do when it comes to social skills, confidence, dating. You build it up because it's situational confidence. You cannot build that just by working on your business or your brand or your physique. Those things are great to build too, but you need to get into the ring and spar and fight and go toe to toe, metaphorically, with women. Right? That's how you're going to get better and better and better at that initial interaction. Now, once you've gotten good at that, you don't need to be that gamey. You don't need to be that toxic masculinity guy that's putting down women. But once you've gotten over the hump, you can actually just go up to women in a confident way where you're not nervous, where you don't need to play so many games and say all of these crazy pickup lingo type thing, but you can just confidently go up to a girl and have a normal conversation, and you crack a joke at some point and you show a little bit of curiosity or interest towards her, and then you move the interaction forward, and then you actually could get a phone number. She's intrigued and attracted and curious at this confident guy who is able to carry a conversation with her, right? That is rare for most attractive women to experience that. Trust me. Now, when you can do that, now we're starting to go on dates, okay? The second place that men lose their power to women is during the dating and courtship. It's essentially a very similar sticking point, except it's not on the front end. It starts to happen on the first couple of dates, because now you're at a further stage than you've gotten to previously. And now this is actually a thing. It's becoming a thing. She likes you, clearly. You've been on a couple dates. Maybe you guys start even getting sexual. And so you start getting wrapped up in the whole idea of you guys. And again, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It's a quality problem, right? Wow, I found this girl that I actually really like, and we actually really click, and we're starting to hang out more, and I'm starting to really like the girl. Great. All of that is very, very good. It's not a bad thing. Toxic red pill people will tell you to continue to detach, continue to remain closed off, to continue to just bury all of that emotion, and don't give your power away, right? And I am talking about not giving your power away, but what I'm trying to say is you don't close off. You just need to not go so over the top and give the power away. You can display the power and not, like, the metaphor I would explain this is like guys are afraid to like show a certain side of them because they're worried that the girl's gonna like fuck them over, right? And so they stay closed off because it works on the front end. But once you start dating, you actually, to some extent, you should actually display a little bit of emotion. That is okay. It's okay to do that. If you genuinely want to get into a healthy long-term relationship at some point, then you're going to need to go through this process, okay? And again, you may lose women in this process. I lost a lot of women by going through this exact process, but I don't regret any of it, really, because every time I either lost a woman or got a painful rejection or lost a woman to some other man, like, yes, those were very painful instances, but I learned from the lesson. I didn't get bitter at women. I didn't start to close off and become like super negative about the whole thing. I just learned and adjusted and adapted and optimized more and more and more over time. And so once you get to a point where you start getting into this third phase that I'm about to get into, where you start dating girls longer term, you no longer will be that affected on the front end, going on date 1, date 2, date 3. But again, if you've never gotten to that point with a girl of this caliber, it will be somewhat of a big deal. So now we start dating, and we're in month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You start dating the girl and things are going better and better and better. Here's a different way that men start to lose their power. A couple different ways that could happen in these later phases of dating. It's number one, you just over-compromise yourself. You stop doing the things that you were doing initially that really created the attraction with the girl to begin with. You stop being the guy that you were because biologically, all of your genes are telling you everything's cool. Like we're having sex regularly. This girl really likes me. We're a couple months in. I could kind of like let my guard down a little bit now, so to speak, because it's not like date 1, date 2. We're on date 30 at this point, and we've had sex like a bunch of different times, or maybe hundreds of times, even depending on how high your sex drive is, right? And then at some point, you start to kind of like ease into the relationship. And this is where a lot of people will start to gain like relationship weight because they get very comfy in the relationship. And this is the place where I see a lot of men lose their power. It could be in month 6, it could be in year 2. But at some point, you start to get really comfortable in the relationship because your biology isn't telling you we need to go out and hunt and we're hungry. No, we're being fed now. So we could kind of chill out a little bit. Like you gotta put on a little bit of weight. and so you kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, right? And this is something that I've actually been really proud of in my own journey, is that even when I first started dating my girlfriend like 5+ years ago, I never fully settled. There was periods where I did kind of ease off the gas a little bit, but if I look at my progression over the last 5 or 6 years, I never really stopped grinding and working on myself. I was never the guy that got into the relationship and then just fell off and let everything go to shit. I continuously have always hit the gym. I've always been concerned about my physique. I've always been trying to optimize my look. I've always been trying to build up my business, my brand, my content. If anything, I brought my girl into the business and the brand. I didn't just like start suppressing all of these different areas. I brought her into my fitness journey. I got her into diet and hitting the gym more regularly. I explained the importance of getting good sleep. When I stopped drinking, because I'm almost at like 1 year fully sober, she gave up alcohol too. Okay, like we're very in sync with a lot of these things. And the way that men lose their power with a lot of this stuff is they don't lead the girl in the direction that they want to go. They get their foot off of the gas and they start doing things that make them extremely comfortable. We were actually out over the weekend and one of our friends, they were talking about us to my girl, and they were explaining that it's interesting because I think you guys are one of the only couples that like can branch out at a party and not be with each other and still are just like socializing constantly. Like I was on like an extreme social flow over the weekend at this event that we were at. And it's because, well, number one, like we have trust and independency within the relationship, which is fine. Plus her female friends were there, so I'm comfortable with her hanging out with her girls. But she's also okay with me going out and being social. And we also genuinely believe that it's a very healthy, necessary part of the relationship. So not that you need to be the crazy social guy, but the whole point of everything I'm saying here is that even when you start dating the girl, you're still building yourself. You're still locked in on your self-development journey. It's gonna keep the attraction high within the relationship, but more importantly, you don't lose your power as a man. The things that make you attractive to women are the same things that you need to be doing to build yourself up. So part of this video is not giving your power away in terms of the power dynamic, but really the bigger picture with all of this is the daily actions that you are doing create the character, right? And the character that you are creating is essentially your power. You build up your confidence, you build up your finances, your social skills, your network, right? I've been building a more and more powerful social circle over the last couple of months of being out in Miami. The network and the social circle is rising. The finances are rising. The physique is dialed in. The money is going up. All of these things are growing while you're still dating the girl. So you don't ever let your foot off the gas and you don't ever stop building as a man. That's what makes you the most powerful version of you, okay? If you want to accelerate that process as a man, if you want to become more confident, if you want to start making more money, if you want to start surrounding yourself with like-minded dudes, if you want to get one-on-one coaching from me directly, you can click the link down below, check out the brand new coaching programs I got going on for 2025. I'd love to help you accelerate this process, all right? I'm about to be 35 years old. I've been working at this stuff since my early 20s. I wish I knew a lot of the things I know now in my 20s. I would be so much further in life. So if you want that for yourself, you could click the links down below, check all that out. That's all for this video, guys. Pay attention to your interactions with women and stop giving your power away. I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.